This reminds me how important stories are to hold community together. So it's not just the living memories, but it's actually the stories. I had the opportunity to be the keynote speaker in Española yesterday for Northern in a conference about the Manhattan Project, about the stories of the forgotten people, essentially, of the Manhattan Project. The babysitters, the woodworkers, the carpenters, and not just the Valley of Española, all the people who were contributing to that. Exactly. And the conference was called Querencia en Rock. Querencia essentially is the love of place, as we know. And so it's not just the core value of love that holds place together, but it's also feeling safe and secure, and recognizing the layers of place. As I always like to start, it's important to recognize, as I was taught many, many years ago, to acknowledge the ground upon which we stand, the Tewa land that we stand upon. And Tewa elders taught me Tiwa elders taught me a long time ago, that wherever we go, we leave our breath behind us. And certainly that breath of those antepasados that lived in this canyon road is a reminder of how important breath is like life. I think about the water that runs along this canyon road. It's like the stories, and the river is what holds it together. So the fact that you've gathered in this modern day Resolana, which is really how we refer to this type of thing up north, is really, really quite special. So I thank you for letting me be in Entremetido here, even though I'm married into the Rios family, so I'm part of the Canyon Road in that way. But I wanted to tell you very briefly, before I take off, I'm sorry I have to go. Last year, I was fortunate to have designed and implemented a project that we called Culture Connects Santa Fe, which was the city of Santa Fe's first cultural plan, and it was really about understanding all of the voices and the experiences of Santa Fe, not just about the past, but looking towards the present and the future as well. The 7 generations in front of us. So I do think that memories are part of a place, but it's also about those future generations that have not even yet been born. That we have to, why it's so important for us to continue to steward these places. Places continue to change and they evolve. And at the same time, so much has changed in this particular region, in this particular part of Santa Fe. The demographic shift in 50 years, those of you who have lived here and who were born here know how dramatic that is. And the people who are not here any longer, it's very fortunate that you have the gift, some of you have the gift of being able to hold on to the land that was your parents and your grandparents. But there's some of your neighbors who had to leave for any number of reasons that some of you already mentioned, for taxes or otherwise. So when the McCune Foundation asked me, Estevan, we want to continue supporting that work that you started last year, what do you want, what 1 or 2 projects do you want to do? One of those projects is what I call ethical redevelopment, and it's essentially turned into an oral history project. I'm working with Little Globe because I think it's also about teaching the youth how to collect these memories. I love that we had the youngest one among us, which was, I think, is that Jeremy?
No, Tyler.
And it's really about people like Tyler being able to carry those memories forward. So we're going to focus this oral history project, we're going to at least start it out in 2 neighborhoods that are very, very different. And one at great risk of gentrification, which is Hopewell Man, and one which is the Canyon Road area, and I'm so glad that Ms. Aragon talked about this region is bigger, right? It's all of the roads that lead into it. So we're going to start an oral history project that is really going to speak in a deeper way about some of the stories that Mr. Rodriguez was sharing. About the fact that some people left, they went to different neighborhoods, they see a shiny new built home, 2-story, but there's a great deal of loss in that as well for our communities. And that demographic change, however diverse it becomes, is still part of the loss. And the memories hold it together, but I want to capture some of those memories. And so immediately when I saw that there was going to be a gathering here today, I contacted Maria and I said, Voces, we have to gather those voices. And so I will be working with Maria and others to actually identify a few of you who would be willing to tell some of those stories for this project that we're going to be gathering. So thank you for letting me say a few words, and now I want to pass it on to you. But we are all stewards of these stories, and it's important not only to hold them, but the gifts are a responsibility for those future generations that are not even yet born. Thank you so much.